Welcome. This is Barry Jones from the Angel School, and we're here for a weekly angel reading for May 8th through the 14th, 2017. So let's take a moment to get comfortable, to relax, take a deep breath, and to just focus on connecting to your angel's messages and the abundance of well being that is flowing within your heart. Just allow yourself to intuitively just connect in with the source and affluence of well being flowing within your heart. And in that affluence of well being, just allow your heart energy to just wash over you like a waterfall. And let it just clear and open your intuitive channels, allowing you the perception to see clearly your soul's truth and its path. Being open to the variety that lies within this path for you, and you being very open and receptive to all that is there. Just noticing and not seeking to limit, but just to be wide open to it all. Because there's so much goodness available to you, flowing through you at all times because of you. So they're giving me a sense as we just, it feels like they keep showing me the third eye. And so there's this sense that this week is going to be strongly intuitive for you in a way that is going to be intuitive action. So sometimes we talk about being intuitive and being receptive. We think that we need to kind of just stand and pay attention or watch is even a better way of me saying it for some of you who have this idea. But in what they're indicating is sort of intuitive action where you are not just standing still, but where you are waiting for something to unfold, or you're trying to make something happen. But it's a sense where you just begin, and as you're in the middle of doing something that you really care about, you start to really, and something that your heart is really engaged, the information is already there within you. So you start to really receive sort of impulses, and you start to act and express. And so it's about really being aware, but it's not that awareness where you're just gonna hold out and wait until something captures you. If there's something that you feel that really matters to you, and something that just inspires your heart, but you don't have all the answers about how you're gonna get going or what you're gonna do about it, just begin where you feel most comfortable, most at ease, where you feel the most amount of freedom. Okay, and it's interesting because they're showing me sort of a paper boat, and it's sort of moving downstream on a very rapid, very aggressive stream, but not that it's in any way indicating a threat or danger. But it's interesting how this paper boat just is sitting on top of that and not disturbed at all, and it's able to handle that. And it's that feeling that you may sometimes think that what you have is inadequate, but with this image to me, sort of gives me the sense is that no matter how insignificant you think your skills or your abilities are, they are more than adequate to sort of weather the currents of life that is always pulling you and giving you energy, momentum to support is more like what the stream represents. Because it's not just taking you somewhere because it's dragging you there, but it's a support of energy that is going with the flow of your own ideas, of your own desires. This is something that is really important for us to hear because we we often think that when we say our path or our purpose, that there is something that is pulling us through life and dragging us everywhere. And that when we get to certain things, we don't want it, and it's because we were dragged there. It's our destiny, and it's not quite like that. It's more loving. The universe admires you, believes in you, loves you so much entirely that it gave you free will, number one, and then that it supports what you want. And you don't need to have a lot. You don't need to, you can start with something as insignificant in this imagery of this paper made boat, and the universe will pick that up and start to support you. So don't put blocks in your way. It's kind of what this is telling me. Don't make up reasons to not be able to do something that you really feel called to do, that you feel passionate about. Let's just take that word call out for a minute. But things that you're passionate about, let's just stay in that energy of your own sacred fire and desires, and let's just have them for a moment. Because it's very difficult for us to have these, to recognize that you have passions, that you have desires. And I know on one level, on a sort of a thought, mental level, you do get that that's true. But see, on that emotional level, when it feels just a little bit more real and tangible, that's where the buck stops. That's where you don't make that connection. And you think it's out of your control. You think it's in someone else's hands. You think the universe or God is dictating. And that is not what's going on. And so therefore you can't really connect with that sacred fire. You can't connect with your divine gifts of manifestation, because when the word passion or desires, or your passions, and put that possessive, your passions or your desires comes into play, you don't think that you really get to have those. Because sometimes it's easier for us to think that our lives are in the hands of someone else or some other being, so that we don't have to worry about owning our choices, owning our desires, and or even better, owning our own power. And it's important for you to know that God is just as much wanting you to own your own power, to your passions and your desires, because what you create is leading edge experience. And there is no desire to just replay what has already been done, and there's no desire to manage, every soul to its own will. The will of God or is love. That's God's will, because that's His own process, his own function, his only desire. And so, therefore, anything that you love, God loves, because it's all in the same vein, if you will. So your God's will and your will cannot be separated. God, that's why when we understand, sometimes when we focus in a very general way, you notice how when you focus on details, how all of a sudden you start to get really frustrated, and things start to get overwhelming and complex, because when you get so focused on the details, what happens is you don't allow for a lot of flexibility, and it's like you can't see the forest from the trees. You somehow lose when you get so involved in the details. You lose your perspective. You lose your way. You lose your sense of your purpose, your path. And so that's why I'm trying to relate this to God's will. God's will is general, it's love. So that He doesn't block the forest, from being, if He was so involved in every little detail in terms of determining what He willed for you, then not much else would be able to happen. There would be very little growth. And so, by His general will being love, then it makes it easier. Feel how free you feel. And that's why this free will is there. And then, if you focus on love, so you see, then you find that there's a variety of opportunities for you to do so. But when you want to press yourself to have a purpose, like somebody's telling me to do this, and what is it, then you get stuck there. Notice how difficult it is to get away from that, because you are so up close to the tree. You see nothing but, you don't even see the tree, you see the bark. You don't even see the bark, you see the lines, and there's a whole forest, a whole tree in front of you, bark in front of you, and other trees and other scenery behind it that puts it all in context. Don't limit yourself. Get back up. Okay? Back up away from that. Get your nose out of those details so that you can see more. And know that it's all in general. Your purpose is always love. And that love, the effect of that love is your happiness. The effect of that love is your happiness. So don't let anything get in your way. Don't let things stop you. Don't let little details, like needing to have a real boat to get started, to get the support of the universe around you, or to feel it, or to even begin to notice it guiding you. That's when you're going to start to look for the guidance, the help. Because once you own in your heart what it is you truly desire, the momentum starts, just like that with that paper boat on that water rapid. It's like the universe gathers around and puts its support, its stream of support, and rapid support, assertive support around that idea. And now you're going to start to feel pulled and guided, because it's coming out of your own desire. And that's when you need to really pay attention to how steps are unfolding to help you to find the boat, to ride that water rapid and have fun in doing so. Do you see? Have fun, lots and lots and lots of fun doing so. So, and I've been seeing like a lot of archangels coming up, Archangel Azrael and Archangel Raphael, and maybe I think Archangel Zachiel. So you have so these angels are coming up to support you. Archangel Raphael in terms of healing, and it also helps with, works with people for lovers and travel. Archangel Azrael is sort of a angel of comfort. I mean, traditionally, it's thought of the angel that works with people passing over, but he can also, help you. Those who are maybe spiritual counseling, if that comes up for you as a purpose, Archangel Azrael is someone that you can work with, or mediumship. Um, he would come up. Archangel Raphael for healing, um, anything related, medical, holistic. You can just kind of um, go on with that. And Archangel Zachiel, um, you can think of him as sort of a mental health, but something, anything dealing with mind work or mental clarity or studies, things like this. So I'm not quite sure right now why they're coming up, but just to make you aware that these archangels are with you. They're showing me that this is about connecting in with your higher consciousness to manifest. So um, you may see some things manifest through your divine guidance, and so being aware of that and really connecting in to know what your what opportunities are available to you right now in this moment. All right, so let's take a look at the card for this week, and seems like they're going on here, but there's a sense of, I see some like a figure of a woman standing in the center of this huge tree. I always talk about it's very wide, the trunk, so it's a strong connection. And a third eye appears behind her. And she's just got her arms open wide and really expanded. And so it's about channeling your light this week and feeling that expansion, feel it flowing through you. Um, and she now develops wings. So, and there is a unicorn or horse. So they're writing leap, okay, and so something about having a leap of faith, and just going for things this week. Don't you know? Don't limit yourself, but go with it. See where it's going. All right, let's take a look at the card for the beginning of the week. The Archangel Oracle cards for the theme for the week. Now, you just can't make this up, right? Passion. We were just talking all about that. And this is Archangel Haniel. It says, trust and follow your renewed passion in your love life and career. Okay, so this is all about owning that passion. And let me just pull this down. It's all about owning that passion and sort of just opening up your arms to this. They're showing me again sort of a waterfall, like a wall, and there's a waterfall, and there's the stream, this waterfall just pouring directly to you. So there's this feeling that something is coming to you. Now they're showing me two people kissing, and this can mean be literal, or it can also mean a connection. And they're writing now a call. So this passion that's coming towards you, this affluence of well-being that is coming towards you, you're gonna really feel this call. You're gonna really connect with something, is what what they're saying, and it's gonna really call to you. But this call is sort of your sort of a pop up of some dream, something that's going to allow you to really feel that dream is starting to take shape, okay? So it's sort of like it just kind of pops out of nowhere. The symbol they're showing me is sort of a male phallic symbol. So it's sort of like that's my symbol for manifestation. Like it's like something's gonna happen. So it's something's just gonna pop up. It just pops up out of the stream. So the thing is, don't get in your own way. But I feel like that you're not going to be able to, because the waterfall and then the stream is just coming coming directly towards you. It's just going to really grab you. So the things in this week that that you feel passionate about, or that inspires some deep passion or connection, or you feel this call is the word they wrote out. Now I see that why they want to talk about call, because they don't want you to think this has nothing to do with you. Something this is everything to do with you. This is something you called, and now it's calling you. You see, big difference. And because we have to own our passions, we have to own our desires, we have to own our power. We can't, this is our responsibility to own it. And you created it, you called it forth, and now it's calling you. I love that. That feels so good, and it's sensual too. And that's another thing. Don't be afraid of your sensuality on all levels, especially with Archangel Haniel. You know, um, is a moon goddess. This is like sort of a you angel archangel. You get this sort of sensitivity. You're sensitive to the phases of the moon. Sensitive in your emotions and your channels. And they're writing out the word channeling. So for some of you, you may experience some channeling, and they're telling me that some of you get these adrenaline rushes. What they want to talk about, sort of psychic development here, or just how to know when you're having a psychic moment. I'm getting a feeling like some people are having some experiences like where you get these adrenaline rushes, and you think it's anxiety, like you're afraid of the world, or your world is crashing. Honey, that's not what it is. you're being empowered. This is the word they're writing out. You're having a channel experience where this is going to be the onset for you of of channeling. You've been desiring, and maybe you didn't say, I want to talk to the angels, I want to, I want to channel them, but you've been had some desire to connect. You've had a desire to connect with God and the angels, like in a very passionate, like in that symbolism they were showing me, the kissing. Like you want to have this love relationship with Source, and so the the outcome of that, and there's always variety, although you didn't specifically. That's why we have to be general, so that we don't miss the forest for the trees, something like this. And you're probably missing it, and not realizing that you're being prepared to receive downloads of channeled information from the angels, or whomever it is that will be connecting with you. So this adrenaline is not anxiety. This is information. You just aren't, you panic first and you don't pay attention. So meditate to help yourself kind of acclimate to these frequencies. Enjoy it. See, the only reason you call it anxiety is because when your body gives you reacts sensitively, you just automatically think it's a threat. But if you were more in tune with your body, and I think this is something about the sensuality, we all need to be a little bit more sensual. So sometimes, and I don't have enough time to kind of talk about this, but you just need to embrace your body, all of its all of its signals, and embrace it in a sensual way. This is a form of communication, and your body's being amped up for it. So enjoy the sensations, okay? Even if you feel like something what you call negative out there, or positive, embrace it. You don't internalize it. I don't want you to do that. It's the difference between being empathetic and compassionate, okay? So we don't want you to take it into your body and then make you all twisted, okay? Compassion, and just being aware of the energy. And compassion is that you're not trying to change it. You accept it. You see, you have this unconditional sort of perspective about it, and therefore it doesn't affect you. It doesn't. But when people are sort of empathetic, they feel like they have to take it on in order to help the person take it in themselves and feel it, and then and you're not helping. You want to take the role of compassion, but just really this week, be very sensual. and don't own your body and all of its signals. All right. Let's take a look at the card for the beginning of the week. Love that card, and we've not really ever had that card come up in a long time, I think. All right, so let's take a look at the card for the beginning of the week. Now, this is the Queen of Michael, and what kind of seemed like sort of totally the opposite, as she can appear a bit cold, but and a little distant. But I must tell you, um, they are not. They have, they feel, and they have a huge heart. They, again, I tell you, this card always reminds me of my mom because she was a Libra, but they have a huge heart, the most giving, most loving, but they know when you're not being honest with them, and they don't have any problems calling you out. And for some of us who don't like that kind of love, we call them a little harsh, but they're not. They are the most love. They will do anything for you, to support you. They will go out of their way to be there for you. You can count on them. So, at the beginning of the week, let's see. Let me just tune into a moment to see how this card sort of is applying to you and I in this week. I feel like I'm seeing a clock, okay, and so a grandfather clock, and then they show me a chair. So it's like the feeling that you're feeling, you're watching the clock, okay, and yeah, you're sitting in the chair, you just kind of relax and watching the clock. And the thing is that I think this goes back to, you need to be out there. You need to be just not sitting there watching the clock, but what you need to do is you need to express yourself. You need to take some kind of action in which you express your ideas to others. So maybe this is the starting point that may happen for maybe the guidance for some of us, where you just need to start expressing. Don't just want to sit there and wait and watch the clock go by, okay? This is not a time for you to, sometimes people think of this card as a widow or someone older. This is not the time for you to just sit down and just sort of watch the clock and watch time go by now and say, well, my time is done. No, this is time for you to get out here and express yourself, okay, as a way of starting and assert your ideas, assert your voice. Now, we're not saying force it, but assert it. So don't hold back your truth. Also, as a queen, nurture your truth, nurture your goals, your ideas. All right. The card says you know exactly what to do. So this means you're claircognizance, like you have this this clear knowing. Trust that knowing inside of you, that knowingness. Okay. And I notice about this, they don't doubt. Like my mother, when she made up her mind quickly, like they know their minds. And the Queen of Michael, the Queen of Swords, she knows her mind. So why are you watching the clock as if like you don't know what to do? Because you know your mind. And if you're looking for other pieces of information to come to validate, when we're dealing with claircognizance of the mind, there's no room for doubt in order for it to work. So knowing this is the most purest form of guidance you can receive. There's nothing else. Anything else to validate it is just weakening that gift. So for those of you who are like, you just have this clear knowingness, or you have a knowingness, maybe it's not always, but if a knowingness pops up for you, like this call, this affluence of abundance that comes towards you, and you have this clear knowingness about it, then you have to go with that. Don't sit around waiting around on the clock for something else to kind of pop up to validate it for you, because it's not. This is it. And I'm not saying this is like it, to be all it, but this is one of the it's that leads to your goals. And if you keep your goal general, your purpose, then you'll be